Let's get the comments up so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. Good evening and welcome to Sugar and Crumbs. This is your warm-up act for the Great British Bake Off. My name is Tracey Mann from Tracey Mann Cakes. You can see that I'm actually doing this out of my own studio rather than on the Sugar and Crumbs set, but I am here to give you a demonstration this evening. I've got 3 cameras tonight. I've not had 3 cameras before, so it's taken us a few minutes just to set it all up, so I do apologise. We were meant to be on at 6:30, so we're a few minutes late. I've got my daughter, Charlotte, on comments tonight. Say hello, Charlotte.
Hi.
So if you do want to talk to me or get involved or ask any questions, then please do write them in the comments. As you always do, you're always very busy, and I'll be more than happy to answer any questions. So the aim of the evening tonight is I'm going to be showing you how to temper ruby chocolate. So I'm going to get that out for you in a minute and show you what that is. I've noticed my taste expert has logged in. That's good. So she'll be coming to the forefront shortly when I ask her. And we're going to be looking at how to temper this new chocolate that's out, what it tastes like, and we're also going to be using it on our transfer sheets, my lovely transfer sheets, which I've been on here lots of times talking about. I'm going to show you a whole cake tonight, so I'm going to show you how to do pink leopard print. Well, you can't go wrong with a bit of pink leopard print, in my opinion, so we're all going to be fine from that point of view. So I'm going to get started sooner rather than later because the aim of the game is to get this all finished before the Great British Bake Off starts. So I will be done by then. There will be no hanging around. We'll just get it done. So tonight, as I say, I'm going to be using a let's change cameras. Let's get flash here. There we go. Look at this. So I'm going to take that down as well. Hold on. There we go. So this is the cake that we're going to be using tonight. This is from Sweet Success. Let's get that out of the way. And so that's what I've cut out to use. It is a 6-inch round cake on a 9-inch round board. We're also going to be using this one, which is unicorn flavour. So this is rose and white chocolate. So we're going to be using that to make our buttercream. I've got some backup buttercream here as well in case I run out, because you never know. I don't want to run out of time. That's the key thing tonight. And we're going to be making, and then we've got another camera look going on here. We're getting very flash now. And we've got another camera here where I'll be showing you all the chocolate bits and pieces later on as well. So there's lots to see. I don't have Simon though, I have to control it all myself. So just bear with me while I keep changing all the screens, but fingers crossed we should be fine and good to go. So we're going to be doing another panel cake. So I've done one of these before. You can see it in the background there. There's one just there, but I'm going to be doing it with this ruby chocolate. So what is ruby chocolate? That is a very good question. This is what it looks like. Okay, so it's pink chocolate. It's made by Calabao and they're calling it their 4th chocolate, so white milk dark ruby. So this is the new one, okay? And it is pink, always a bonus. Immediate bonus. Let me show you what it looks like on this camera here. So that's what it looks like. Okay, so it is pink in terms of colour, and we're going to be showing you how to temper this chocolate, which is very similar to how you do white chocolate. So I'm going to put a fair amount in actually. I've got some there. I might need another bowl actually, Charlotte. I might have to get you to go rummaging for a bowl in that cupboard in a minute. You might hear a slight avalanche. As she goes, behind there. Yeah. She thought she was coming here just to sit and answer comments, but in fact she's got a lot to do tonight. So yeah, my pink board's there. Spot my pink board. Ruby chocolate. Now, I actually don't eat any chocolate. That sounds awful, doesn't it? But it doesn't do me any good. So I sent some to Nikki, who is on here, because she did volunteer to be my taste tester, you see. See, if you make these suggestions to me, I will follow them up. But I'm also going to make Charlotte try it. She doesn't actually know it yet. So once she's got my bowl, that's fine. You can leave my bowl there. I'm going to get you to try this.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. What am I expecting, or do I not?
Well, Nikki, I sent some to Nikki. So she said, ruby chocolate is lovely. It's like white chocolate with a hint of fruit at the end.
I see what she means, because it's like, does taste like a kind of mix between the white and the milk, but you get a bit of like a nice little zing at the end. It's actually really nice, really nice.
I think they've put Kit Kats around it. I think Kit Kats.
Yeah.
You can buy. I'm sure you can buy ruby chocolate Kit Kats. I think I've seen them. So it has been around for a while, but we haven't actually covered it on here in terms of tempering it properly and getting to use it. So we're going to go through that. Wasn't keen on the ruby Kit Kat.
I think it's better as chocolate. I can't imagine that being nice with a Kit Kat.
Yeah, I think sometimes
proper chocolate.
when you have it on its own, rather than trying to sort of, I mean, the Kit Kat's a classic, isn't it? Why would you put pink chocolate on it? It's a classic. You want to keep it as it is. So putting pink chocolate on it, so pink chocolate on its own.
With that icing sugar, absolutely, it would be
With
perfect,
the icing sugar.
yeah.
It's a winner. Anyway, we're going to give it a go. Right, okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, it's Calabao and we're going to temper it. So that's what our aim of our game is tonight. I'm just putting it out the way. Now, I have got, I'm going to make some buttercream first. I had a bit of a moment earlier with my food mixer because I realised I'd left half of it at home. That didn't really help. Now, Carol says yesterday, I watched her live yesterday, and she was going on about when she does her buttercream that she doesn't make clouds of icing sugar. I'm the reverse. There's more likely to be icing sugar absolutely everywhere in a minute. So why I'm doing this live, I don't know. I should have done this in advance really. But anyway, I'm now going to make some buttercream. So we're going to be using the unicorn flavour, the rose and white chocolate. And it's 250 grams of butter. And then we're going to put in the bag of, I'll just put that, what did I do with my bin? There it is. Get that out of the way. Ta-da. I'm going to put my other camera on so we can see this a bit better. So I'm going to be putting my icing sugar in here. I can open it, there we go. Expect clouds of icing sugar. I know she's going to say you should have whipped the butter first. I think that's what they're going to say to me in a minute. Right. Can you pass me, is there a tea towel over there?
I think I left it. Oh, I thought I left. Oh no, it's good. Sorry.
See, I always put a little bit of water in mine as well because that stops it flying around everywhere. Let's get some. I've really stitched myself up putting that there, haven't I? Right, let's get that. Right, okay. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit of water in there. Let me come back on the screen. I'm reading your comments now. Chop your icing sugar up. Yeah, bit late now. It'll be fine. I make lots of buttercream. It won't be a problem, she says. Shall I just leave it out of shot for a minute while I just have my moment of plume while it goes everywhere? It's going all over that camera. There's quite a lot going everywhere. So we'll see a mask coming up over there. I normally do it in my big food mixer, you see. I've only got my little hand whisk here tonight. What happened to that? Oh, there it is. Put it over there for a second. It smells nice. It does smell nice, doesn't it? There we go, we'll just get that mixed up. Nearly there. Get a tiny bit more water in there. Can you put a bit more water in there, Charlotte, please? There you go. I'm just putting a little bit more water in there just so it's not too stiff. I don't want this to tear up the cake. There we go. That was easy and stress-free, wasn't it, Charlotte? Mm-hmm. Right. There we go. You see, simply, it's very easy. Anyway, if it smells very nice in here now, we've had a plume of Carol's icing sugar. So we use the, what did I say it was called? The rose and unicorn one.
The unicorn one.
Yeah, very nice. So anyway, that's what we're using tonight. Right, so we've done that bit. Now we're going to just fill our cake. So we'll go on to the other camera now. Hold on, press the button, there we go. Right, so here's one I cut out earlier. Let's put that over there out the way. We don't need that board anymore. Thank you, my assistant. So I'm just going to put some of the buttercream on there. Pop that on top. You have to excuse the colour of my hands tonight because the edible printer exploded over me just as I've got black hands on one side. I promise you they're clean. It's that printer ink is lethal. So yeah, I had a bit of an argument with the edible printer before I came out the door. So if anyone else has got one, they'll know what I mean. Okay, let's put another layer on. There we go. How are we doing? Can you just move that out of the way? Probably wondering what this is. This is my gadget for doing transfer sheets. It's brilliant. It speeds things up massively. And it means you don't need to use rulers quite so much. Even better. Right, there we go. Now, what I'm going to do tonight, because I'm going to put some cigarellos on that, I'm going to just check how high it is. So, these are my chocolate cigarellos, and I'm just standing it up against this cake. See, it looks like I knew this was going to happen, didn't I? So that's the height that I want my cake to be tonight, because I'm going to put panels in between the cigarellos. So that's the height that I'm looking for. So that's all fine, happy with that. All good. So we can leave that cake for the moment, and we're going to just move the buttercream out of the way. Let's put that over there, Charlotte. Can you move that down there? That's it. Okay, we'll come back on. Here I am again. So that's our cake prepped, and we're just going to leave that for now. I could crumb coat it. I mean, I might crumb coat it. Do I want to crumb coat it? Just trying to think. Is it any easier if I crumb coat it? Should we crumb coat it? We're going to crumb coat it. Let's crumb coat it just because we can. How about that? Right. So if you're going to do a crumb coat on a buttercream cake, normally add a little bit more water just so that it doesn't pull up all of the cake that you're doing. So I'm just going to put a tiny bit more water into my lovely buttercream that I've made. Just quickly whiz that round. Yeah, I think we'll do that and then we'll put it in the fridge. That sounds like a good idea to me. Okay, so we're back on here again. So all I'm going to do with my buttercream, I'm going to start at the top, and I'm just going to always do the top first before I do the sides.
Can we get a look at that if you swap the cameras over?
What, sorry?
Could we... Oh, is it on the...
It's on that one.
Oh, sorry.
It's because you're behind, you see.
Yeah, sorry. I was thinking like, oh, I want to get a good view of this.
Yeah, Facebook runs 10 seconds behind, Charlotte, you see. So then we're going to just go round like so. Need a tiny bit more water in there because it's pulling up a little bit. I'll stick a bit more in. You've got a ringside view. Right, okay. Let's put this in. Am I still on camera? Yes, I am. Okay. So, palette knife down when you coat your cakes. It's a lot easier. Lots of beginners do this and they end up tearing up the sides of their cakes. So, if you can keep your palette knife down, make sure your buttercream's got some water in it, then you'll find it a lot easier than trying to do it sideways. So you don't want to get involved in the sides particularly. You want to be going that way or that way and nothing else, nothing in between. So let's go round. Nearly there. Especially cakes like this one as well. This is Sweet Success cake. They're in Nottingham. And it's very soft, their cake, and you tend to find you can really quickly tear up the sides of the cake if the buttercream isn't soft enough. So it's well worth making sure it's soft enough before you do it. Okay, we're nearly there. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll pop this in the fridge. And we'll crack on with the chocolate and we'll get it tempered. So if you've got any questions about chocolate tempering tonight, I know earlier in the week there were several comments about tempering chocolate and people were commenting about how to do it. So hopefully this will answer a few questions. I'm going to be coming back on Sugar and Crumbs and doing this multiple times leading up to Christmas. So you're going to be an absolute expert by the end of this. Big tool scraper. just go around the edge of your cake. Just make sure it's upright, like so. Take any excess off, and then you can just bring it in across the top, like so if you need to. I don't need this to be perfect. I'm not going to spend time making it perfect because I'm going to be covering it in absolutely everything. It literally is a crumb coat and nothing else. So I'm not going to waste my time doing anything fancy with it particularly. Right, let's send that off to the fridge. Let's come back on screen. There we go. So there we go. What a mess. I'll put down there. We're going to need that again, Charlotte, so I won't get rid of it. But yes, I'm in a mess now, so we just need a cloth. We've got a cloth over there. Oh, I've got my kitchen roll here. Right, a little tidy up, and then we'll go through transfer sheets and what they are, what we're going to do, and get that ruby chocolate tempered. That's the plan anyway. Right, get rid of all the buttercream. Okay. So before we start, first thing we're going to do is get the transfer sheets prepared. Okay, so we're going to cut them up because they come on big sheets. Let me show you what they come on. So this is a transfer sheet, and they will arrive if you buy them like this. Now, Sugar and Crumbs don't sell them. They are on my website. So I'll put my website up for a split second. Where is it? There it is. So if you are interested in buying transfer sheets, they're on my website, not Sugar and Crumbs, okay? So if you go to that one, you'll find them on there. So this is Leopard Print, and you can see through it. So you can see right through it, which means whatever chocolate that we put behind it, you're going to see through it. So we're going to do pink tonight. So in theory, you will be able to see pink chocolate through it. That's the theory anyway. So that's what we're going to do. Now, I want to do panels that are going around the edge of my cake. So I need to prepare that first before I start doing my chocolate tempering, because once I've tempered my chocolate, I need to be ready to use it straight away. I can't then start chopping up transfer sheets. So we have to do things in an order. We have to get prepared before we then start tempering. So I've got one of these. They're like the best thing ever. Has anyone got one of these? Brilliant. These are fantastic for cutting transfer sheets. In fact, that's all it does. It doesn't do anything else. This is my transfer sheet cutter. I get lovely straight lines. If I try and do it with the scissors, it's all like this. This is brilliant. So if you don't have one, you'll need to rush out and buy one. They're brilliant. So let's bring this in and I'll show you what I do. So let's put the other camera on. There we go. Right, so this is my guillotine, and what I do is I turn it over so that I'm not having the transfer sheet facing up, because transfer sheets are basically cocoa butter with a pattern that's been sprayed on. One side feels rough, that's the transfer side, and the other side is smooth, and it's on a food grade acetate. Okay, now when you buy them, they have a line that goes all the way around them that you don't need. So the very first thing we need to do is pop it under this. There we go, hold on. When it cooperates, that's it, and just cut that piece off. We don't need that bit there, we'll get rid of it. Otherwise you'll end up putting chocolate on that, and then it will just produce absolutely nothing at all. So we need to make panels this time that are the same height as the cigarellos. So what I tend to do is I get hold of a cigarello and I will measure it against the transfer sheet. So I'll hold it there like that, so I can see that it covers that area there, and then all I'm going to do is just go like that straight up. So that's my first panel, and then I'm going to do that again. You could measure it with a ruler, but I don't see any point when I'd have to measure the cigarello and then I'd have to measure the, it's pointless. I might as well just use the cigarello. So I've got that back in there again. We're going to do 3, I think. 3 should do it. And then we're going to do some little squares as well for the top. So there we go. So, like so. And then this one here, we're just going to cut that end piece off there again. Because again, that's the blank piece. We don't want that. Let's make sure I've got it. Yep. Get rid of that. Isn't this easy? It's so much easier than trying to do it with scissors when it's straight lines. Somebody's just written up there about doing circles. If you're doing circles, you do need to cut them out with scissors. You can't do it any other way particularly. So you would need to mark it on and then cut it out that way. Okay, right, so we've done that one. Let's just cut the ends off these and then we're good to go and we can get going.
How big would you say cigarette are, roughly?
How big are they? Let's measure them, shall we? We'll measure them for you now. So, let's come under here. There's my camera. So they are 3 3/4 inches for those that like inches. For those that like centimetres, about 10 centimetres. There you go. That's the answer to that. That was easy.
Good guess,
Did you say 10 centimetres? Oh, you see, you've spent too long in cake world, haven't you, Charlotte?
I have.
I'd send everyone to look at your birthday cakes now and they can see you growing up, you see.
Oh,
My children have been subjected to my birthday cakes for their whole lives and they've had their photographs taken with them from dot right up to now, so you can see them growing up. I think it's lovely.
I don't know what the rest of the internet thinks.
It doesn't matter, it's absolutely fine. Right, we're done with that. Okay, let's come back on again. I've put this in kind of a bit of a lethal place, Charlotte. I think I better give that to you because there'll be an avalanche in a minute. Right, okay, so we have got our transfer sheets at the ready. There we go. And we are going to put them onto my lovely pink board, which I have to pull out on a regular basis because everybody is pink board envy. So I'm going to put them down there and there. And, well, they sort of are straight. I don't know what I quite have done with that one, but anyway. Like I've been drinking with some of these, but anyway, there we go. Let's just check the heights on them with my ruler, see what's going on. 10. Fine, that's fine. Okay, right. So, chocolate tempering I've talked about in the past. On Sugar and Crumbs quite a number of times. So this is ruby chocolate. So this is, it's exactly the same. What I have found with it is that it behaves more like white than anything else. So therefore the melting times are shorter. If you do dark chocolate, it takes longer. So you will find that you're following the same sort of procedure as you would do with white chocolate. So I've got my transfer sheet ready. I have got my cranked palette knife, which I need, and I've also got my sharp knife, which I also need, and my tape measure. So I'm just double checking myself. No one else, just me. Right, okay, so let's get this tempered. I'm just moving my chair out of the way, otherwise I'll end up on the floor. Okay, microwave. So we do the microwave method here. I don't do the seeding method, and I don't do the bain-marie method with the boiling saucepan and hot water. This is the easiest way to do it. If you don't have a microwave, go to YouTube and put in tempering chocolate, and there'll be lots of other ways of doing it, but this is honestly, if you have got a microwave, this is the most straightforward way to do it. It's easy. You don't have to worry about having a thermometer or a marble slab or any of these other things. It's really, really straightforward. So I'm going to run through that with you now. I'm just umming and ahhing whether I've got enough chocolate in there. I'm just going to put a tiny bit more in. What I have found is that there are rules, and if you stick to the rules, you can't go wrong. If you cheat, if you cheat, it will go wrong. Okay, so you've spent all this money on this chocolate and you've spent all this money on these lovely transfer sheets, so let's not cheat. Let's do this so that it works, and then you will have some great results and you'll be really pleased with yourself then. So, and that's a really good thing, isn't it? You want that to happen. So I have got, let's go under here so you can see, that's my ruby chocolate. That's what it looks like when it comes out of the container. And we're going to go across the microwave, which I did remember to plug in as a bonus. Okay, so the first round is on full power. Now the next thing you're going to say to me is my microwave is 850, my microwave is 1000, all these different things. It doesn't matter. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be focusing on just doing it on full power, whatever your microwave is. Round one, 30 seconds. Okay, this does take a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, but I promise you, you just will not need a thermometer or any of these other things. It will all happen like magic for you. So it is a really good method, but you can't cheat. So I normally put my spatula in here as well. It is plastic, and the only reason I do it is because then I can't remember what I've done with it. So when it first goes through the first 30 seconds, there's no change whatsoever. It looks exactly the same. And then we're going to start these cycles of 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir, 10 seconds stir. If you cheat, if you go 20 seconds or any of these other things, you will find it doesn't work. It's as simple as that. I would say the problem with this is when you first start it and you're mixing it and there's really no change at all. If you look at it, there's absolutely nothing going on. If you imagine when you have put some butter in the microwave and you put that in for 10 seconds and how quickly that melts, then you will know that there is heat in there. So just remember that there is heat going on in there. It might not be immediately visual, but there is definitely heat in there. All right, so we'll pop it back in again. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring the temperature up really slowly. So we're kind of creeping up towards the melting point. We don't know what that melting point is. We don't need to know. I sometimes think the more kind of equipment you have, like chocolate thermometers and all those kinds of things, it tends to put you off actually looking at what you're doing, looking at your chocolate and making some decisions based on what you can see in terms of visually, rather than sort of trying to you know, work out what the temperature is. How much chocolate do you weigh out? It doesn't matter. Any amount's fine. I don't know how much I've got in here. I've probably got about, see, I've done a few other things with this chocolate this week, so it doesn't matter. If I started with 250 grams and then I started with a kilo, they would still follow the same procedure. So even if it's a small amount of chocolate, you've still got to start with the same 30-second procedure as you would have done before. So still not a lot to report at the moment. It still looks exactly the same. It is starting to get a little bit dull, so you can see it starting to change, which means that there is some activity in there now and that we are getting to the point where it is starting to melt. I mean, it was melting all along, it just doesn't show you. Now, every time I pull it out of the microwave, I'm literally just mixing it, and that's to stop the hot spots, because what we're trying to do is keep the temperature moving so that we don't end up with a situation when you have got a bit of hot chocolate on that side and it just keeps getting hotter and hotter. We are looking at controlling temperature.
If can you use any leftover chocolate sort of in this?
Can I what, sorry?
Can you use, like, reuse any leftover chocolate that you
Yes.
have?
Yeah. So if you have any leftover chocolate, apart from eating it, obviously, you can let it set and then remelt it and use it again. So you can do that with all Belgian chocolate. You can do it, I'd say, maximum 3 times before it starts to get difficult. So yes, do it, but it might not be something you can keep repeating. It's okay then if you've made a mistake first time round, you know, and you've overheated it. There is a level of forgiveness in there as such. We're getting there. It's starting to change now. Did I press the button? Yeah, I did. Yeah. I couldn't remember if I pressed the button then. Backwards and forwards. This is so worth it though. Okay, and still. And I'll show you what it's doing now so you can have a look. No, it might help if I press the button. There we go. All right, so it's starting to go now. There is some evidence of it. So we'll put it back in again. For those of you that have just joined, if you're joining in late this evening, because I'm on at 6:30, not the usual Sugar and Crumbs time of 8 o'clock, it is because I'm trying to get this done before the bake-off. So that's why these lives are starting at 6:30. If you've missed the demo so far about how to temper chocolate, all I'm doing is putting it into a microwave. full power, 10-second stir, 10-second stir, until I get to the point when it's fully melted, and I will show you visually what that looks like, because it's really important that you see what it looks like. If anyone, sorry, yeah, Charlotte.
I was going to say, well, apparently the Carol's got some Christmas icing sugars coming out, and do we think that the ruby chocolate is going to go well with Christmas icing sugar?
I don't know what she got out. She hasn't told me yet, actually. They'll know. Has Carol told you yet what's coming out?
I'm sure we'll find out.
It's bound to be a gingerbread one or something like that along those lines. So if anybody knows what they are, tell me. And then you've eaten it, and then we'll have to ask our resident taster, Nikki. She'll have to tell us. Right, we're nearly there. We're nearly there. I'll show you what it looks like now, just to keep you in the loop. Okay, so you can see, once you kind of get to this stage, it goes really quick, like really quick.
Someone said that they tried to cream the other day, but it started setting very quickly before the moulds were filling. Does that mean the chocolate's not tempered enough, or like what kind of?
Try tempered chocolate. Say that again.
Is the chocolate setting a bit too quickly?
It needs to go a little bit further. I think you just need to add a little bit more heat to it. I know the trouble is, once it goes liquid, you feel like you want to stop, but I think it sounds like you've not quite gone far enough with your heat, and it's tricky because you want to be really kind of, you know, careful with not overheating it. But yeah, it sounds like it just needs a little bit more heat.
Now we've got some people coming in with the Christmas icing sugar flavours.
Lovely.
We've got rum and raisin.
Rum and raisin.
A lot of people said that. A couple of people have also said spiced pumpkin or pumpkin spice. I assume that's a Halloweeny October flavour.
Yeah.
And what else?
Pumpkin flavour, yummy.
Thinking potentially cinnamon as well. I can imagine cinnamon will be for Christmas.
Cinnamon, yeah. So which one, Charlotte, are you going to put with ruby chocolate?
Well, this is the thing.
Now you're an expert.
It's got a bit of a zest to it, so you almost need to find like a matching. Someone said Irish cream. I can imagine that working.
So this is where we are now with the chocolate. You can see it's almost melted. We're getting there. See, it's taken a little bit of time. The cycle's about 3 minutes approximately. Feels like a bit longer because you're obviously bringing it in and out, in and out, in and out. We're getting there. As you get towards the end, you need to slow down the heat process and speed up the mixing process. So I'm going to give this a good old mix now. And then we'll get back in again. We're nearly there. We're nearly there.
Do we think, I know you were saying earlier that it's a bit, when you're tempering ruby chocolate has a similar like time duration to white. Do you think it's a bit of a halfway between white and milk?
No.
You think it's quicker?
I think it's definitely more white. Potentially, I suppose, yeah, potentially it might be slightly more. I'm going to put the other camera on now so you can see this. Just move my pig board out the way. So this is it melted now, but what we've got here is consistency is not flowing. What we're going to be looking for is it to flow like double cream. At the moment, it's not doing that. So we need to put it back in the microwave for another 10 seconds.
I like this comment, Mum. Someone called Sharon has said that her granddaughter has already decided that she's having the design with the leopard print for her birthday.
Oh, brilliant.
I love that.
Love it. Can't get enough pink leopard print. Absolutely. I don't reckon. It's lovely, isn't it? Right, I think we're in business now. Okay, so there is our pink chocolate, our leopard print chocolate to be. So if I lift this up like that, can you see the way it's trailing? Okay, so that's what you're looking for. If you have, if it just drops, then it's not hot enough. If it runs like water and doesn't make a trail, you've overheated it, and it's as simple as that. Now you can test it, so you could, I'm just trying to find something to test it on. You could literally just take a bit of chocolate and put it on the side of your bowl, carry on stirring, and then once that sets, which will be sort of 1 to 2 minutes, then you know your chocolate's tempered. Now I know mine is ready. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to keep going with this so we can keep the demo going. We don't miss the bake off. so let's bring these in. Now before I get started, let's just check. Right, so this is the rough side of these sheets. I can feel it's the rough side. I'm going to put that one out of the way. Where are we? Where's my camera gone? That way. Okay, so let's start with this one. So all I'm going to do is pop some chocolate down onto the sheet. This is easy to do with a cranked palette knife. It's much easier to do than it is with a flat one. Okay, so if you are doing these at all, get yourself a cranked palette knife. Now the pink ruby chocolate doesn't look very pink against my lovely pink board. I promise you it is really pink. I think my pink board is. Now then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift this up, just move it across like so I can see it. You'll be able to see how quickly this is setting. Look how quick. There, so I know that's definitely tempered. Okay, let's do that again. Put that one on. And we'll put a bit more on this one. Make sure it's the rough side up, which it is. Now, if you look at this one above, can you see already that it's going dull? So it was shiny and now it's going dull, and it's going dull quite quickly, which means that it's setting really quickly, which is good news. That's what we want. Let's put a bit more chocolate on the end. We'll throw it around a little bit now.
How thick should you be going for your layer of chocolate?
You want to be going thick enough that you can't see it, but not so thick that it just becomes... so in other words, you don't want to be able to see the transfer sheets. Now the reason I'm picking them up is so that I can cut my lines in a minute, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to see where the edges of my sheets are. I've got one more sheet. I'll do it on that board. Just going to turn that round. Right, let's do this last one. I'm working at high speed now. So, this one here. Okay.
I think the ruby chocolate someone say make a very nice drip, like on a...
Yes, I think you're right. I think it would make a very nice pink drip, wouldn't it? So you could, all you'd need to do is just add a little bit of oil to it if you want to drip it. That's quite a good way of doing it. A bit of vegetable oil. That makes your chocolate drip okay. Right, let's get rid of that. Get that out of my way. Last little one. I don't need all of this. I'm only going to do a proportion of this one. That will explain why later. No one's commenting. I'm getting in a mess then.
You're fine.
What am I doing, honestly? Okay. Now, transfer sheets have been on the Bake Off quite a few times actually, so I'm waiting. That week will come at some point. It will appear. Right, let's go back to the initial ones. I'm just going to bring this one on because it's falling off. Right. So these are the ones we've started with and they're already dry. So what I want to do is I want to cut some panels. So I want them to be roughly the same size. So I'm just going to take my tape measure. What should we go for? Go for about 4 centimetres, something like that. So I'm just going to put some lines in there. This is where it tests my timetable, Charlotte. 12, 16, 20. Can you see me on camera still yet? 24, 28. Okay. And then what we'll do is so all you're doing before the chocolate sets is scoring it, okay? Once the chocolate's set, it's much more difficult to do. You have to do it with a hot knife. So if you do it before it sets, it's a lot easier. Okay, and we'll just do that end bit there as well. So get rid of that. Let's turn it around and we'll do the other one. Right, let's get my tape measure out again. I think this one's welded itself to the board. Let's just move it. There we go. So I can see where the edge is. Now the other thing you have to watch with this is that sometimes when chocolate dries, it contracts, and because it contracts, it can sometimes pull the transfer sheets up and it can make them curl, so we have to be a bit careful about that. You know, they start to tip in, so we have to watch that. I've lost track of my thing now. Where am I? 20, 24. Gosh, it's testing my times table tonight. Okay, and then like that. So you can see how easy it slices through. If I'd left it literally a few more minutes, it would be a nightmare. So where's that last one? There it is. Okay, right, so that's that lot done. So let's pop that off to the fridge. If I can get it in there, that chair's in the way. There we go. Okay, and then we'll bring this one in. Let's bring my chair around for a second. Right, and then we can do this one as well. So again, same as before, just because I want them the same size, no other reason. You can do whatever you like, you can pick whatever size you like. It's entirely up to you. I've just gone for 4 centimetres, just kind of very randomly actually. I don't even know why I did that, but it's fine. Can you see that they're bending a little bit? So just remember as well that they can bend. If you cut through the transfer, which I've just done, that's okay. Don't worry about that. If you're concerned that they are starting to bend inwards, so they're starting to tip, you can always put a little bit of chocolate. Have I got any left? Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes I put a little bit of, see, I've gone through there, chocolate on there, under there, and that stops it from picking up. So you can just put a little bit on there and it stops it from contracting in, if that makes any sense, okay? Right, now for these, I'm just going to make some little squares. So all I'm going to do is I want these for the end, for the top. So I'm just going to cut out, I'm going back to my roots, I'm going to do inches now. Any questions, Charlotte?
Have we got any questions? No, I'm just sending somebody your website, so you've got it. Now I have to try and spell it out.
Right, so that is 4, so that's half there. So I'm just going to make some little squares that I'm going to use later on the top, hopefully, all being well. I should have at least 6, because if I've got anything less than 6, it's not going to work. So that's fine. So I'll just go across there like that. So while your chocolate is at this stage, this is when you need to be doing any cutting of any description that you want to do, any shapes of any description. I'm just going to do one more there because I'm bound to end up with breaking one. Don't know if they're too big or not, but we'll find out when I do it, won't we?
Someone's asked about when you've done, you know, you've cut your sheets out and it's at the sort of stage you're at now, how long is it before you can kind of put that onto the cake?
Say that again.
So, you know, you've got it at the stage you're at now.
Yeah.
How long can you, before you can put those transfer sheets onto the cake, how long do you need to let them set for?
Oh, I see. Right. Okay, so the transfers are going off to the fridge now. I'll come back again. So the transfers are going off to the fridge now and they'll go in not that long. If you read all the manuals and stuff, it says like 20 minutes and all that stuff, but actually that you'll probably find even after about, God, it doesn't take long, does it? 10 minutes they'll be set, so very quick, but you do need to put them into the fridge because you need to chill the chocolate right down so that the transfer sheet then picks up onto the chocolate. If you just leave it at room temperature, it will peel off, but it won't peel off with the patterns. You have to put it in the fridge. That's crucial, okay? And what I'm going to do, actually, I'm going to rescue the cake. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? Let's get that out. Oh, if I can get to it. Hold on. I'll just dive into the fridge. There we go. All done with no sweat whatsoever. There we go. Right. Whew, okay, we've got that bit done. Right, so that's the chocolate transfer now gone into the fridge. So it's going to be roughly 10 minutes before we can bring that back out, and then we can look at putting it onto the cake. So while we're doing that, what we could do is we could mix some of the ruby chocolate into the buttercream. So we can just melt it back down again, add it to our buttercream, and we can use it to pipe. So we had, what was the flavour? Unicorn. Unicorn buttercream in tonight. So I'm going to add my ruby chocolate that's left, which looks a bit of a mess actually, to be honest, but there we go. It's all up the side of the bowl, but that's okay. So I'm going to add some of this ruby chocolate. I'm just going to literally just take it off the side of the bowl, like so. Back on again. And if you then wanted to add that to buttercream, all you would do is just melt it. So you wouldn't need to temper it if you're just adding it to buttercream. So if you've got buttercream on its own and you just want to add in some chocolate, that includes milk, white or dark, all you would do is melt it in the microwave, 30 seconds stir, 30 seconds stir until it's melted. The only time you need to actually temper some chocolate is if you're using a mould, if you're using a transfer sheet, or if you're trying to do something that sets it so that you're trying to peel something away, or it's got to contract properly. If it's going into a product, so if it's going into buttercream, then that's fine. You can just literally melt it, no problem at all. Right. So we will put this into the microwave and melt it and put it into our buttercream. Does that sound, you're happy with that, Charlotte, are you?
Now I'm reading the packet here. Apparently the ruby chocolate is made from a ruby cocoa bean.
A ruby cocoa bean? Ooh.
Which I've not heard of before.
That sounds all right, doesn't it? So I'm now contradicting everything I've said before. I am now just melting it. So 30 seconds stir, 30 seconds stir. I don't need it to be tempered anymore. I just need to be able to add it to my buttercream. That's all I'm looking for now. So if you think, well, hold on a minute, she stopped doing that method now, it's because I'm using it for a different purpose, okay? And I'm also going to need to put some water in it as well, because I tend to find if you put chocolate into buttercream, it does set, whereas if you add a little bit of water, it just stops it setting quite so quickly. Here's my spatula. And I'll just give that a quick stir. It's melting quite quickly because the chocolate that was in there earlier has already been tempered, you see, so therefore it's already started to melt. Right, let me just find, I need a scraper because I've got chocolate all over the table. I'll get rid of that. Otherwise, when I put my camera on in a minute, you're going to see how messy I really am, Charlotte. No, you're not supposed to agree with me.
You are messy.
Okay, let's get rid of all of that. See, and then I can just look like I know what I'm doing. There. Right. So, almost melted again. I'll show you what it's doing. There you go.
Someone's asked a question about colouring chocolate.
When, how, and what with? Okay. I think a few people jumped in and answered that, but let's have a think. So this is pre-coloured because this is a pink brand of chocolate, so we don't need to colour this. However, you can colour chocolate in different ways. There's a product called Colour Mill that's out there that's very good, so you can use that. Well, I tend to use dusting colours, and I did a demo about 2 weeks ago on a Thursday morning. If you go back on Sugar and Crumbs and look for the one on the Halloween lollies that I did, I had those earlier. What did I do with them? Just gonna put them over there. Yeah, there we go. So I made these. Let's show you on the other camera. Okay, so I made these about 3 weeks ago, these Halloween transfers there, and I did it with white chocolate. I did it with white chocolate, and all I did was I added some dusting colour to it. So I literally added some sunset orange, and I mixed it in that way. So go and have a look and you'll find it on there. If anybody, by the way, wants the Halloween transfer sheets, I've only got 4 sets left and they're not getting restocked. So if anybody wants those, you'll need to be super quick because they are going to sell out. I'm not getting any more because I can't get any more. That's it, they're gone. So if anybody is interested in those, again, I'm just going to put my website up again. If anybody's looking for chocolate transfer sheets, which is what I'm doing at the moment, that's where you need to go. Okay, right, let's get the things back out the microwave again. Almost there.
Someone has said, for the buttercream, do you need to add water or can you use another liquid? They've suggested milk.
You can use milk in buttercream. I don't tend to use milk in buttercream because me personally, I know it creates a slightly different taste, but for me personally it's a bit more of a risk if the weather's hot, for example. So I don't, but you can. Okay, so I always tend to use water, and I just tend to use tap water. I don't do anything particularly fancy with that either. Can you use gel colour? You cannot use gel colour to colour chocolate. No, that's an easy one.
Why not?
Why not? Because it's water based and chocolate is oil based, and you need to use an oil base to colour chocolate. That was easy. Any more easy questions? Can dairy-free chocolate be used for lollies? I don't know, to be honest, Barbara. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Have you got access to some dairy-free chocolate? I've never had dairy-free chocolate, so I'm not sure how it behaves. It depends how it sets, really. That's the key to this, really.
Probably the closest is dark chocolate would be.
Do you think?
Yeah, because that's not theoretically got a lot of milk in it.
It's got some milk in it though.
Tiny
Dairy-free
bit,
is
yeah.
different from having no milk in it at all. So I would say try it. How about that? And then let me know. Report back. How about that? Okay. Right. We have melted chocolate now. Joy, joy. Okay, let's get rid of that. So we're going to put some buttercream in from earlier. I'm going to use this little bit got left here. It's good that I brought some more down, you know, because I've gone through quite a bit already. So we're going to use this to stick our shards and our cigarellos in. So I'll pop that in. A little bit more. Okay, there's some washing up there for you, Charlotte.
Oh, thank you.
I know. That's what you're here for, isn't it, darling?
Absolutely.
And then we'll stick a bit more in. This is my backup buttercream from earlier, just in case I run out. Okay, I'll pop that in as well. And then, as I say, I always put in a little bit of water. I always have done, because it stops it setting quite so quickly. So we'll mix that up. There we go. Instant pink buttercream. That's not bad, is it? Right, let's just scrape it from down the sides. How am I doing for time? Oh, I've got half an hour left before the bake-off. So
Deadline is rapidly
the
approaching.
bake-off deadline is rapidly approaching. Okay. So once we start assembling this, it's going to be well in time. So if anybody's panicking and thinking, oh, I'm going to miss the bake-off, I promise you, you won't. I will have this all finished on time. Right, okay, let's get organised. Where's that camera? There it is. Let's move this over there. Right, we're on camera 3 now. Okay, right, let's put that there. Let's get the transfers out of the fridge. They've been in there a while now, so we'll start with the... Let's get this mess off my table. Right, let's turn my chair around as well. Which board did I do first? Pink, wasn't it? Okay, here we go. Here comes the magic. Let's go back to this one for a second. Okay, so they've been in there for... How long have they been in there? Long enough. How about this? A bit of magic. So we've now got pink leopard print. So the chocolate has set and it's picked up the pattern. Let me move that up a little bit so you can see. Like so. You keep stirring that to make sure it doesn't set, Charlotte, please.
Okay. It's a nice colour to it.
I know, it's got a very nice colour to it, hasn't it? So that's all the transfer sheets coming off. Can you use transfer sheets for buttercream on a cake? Can you use? So you can't put buttercream on a transfer sheet and expect it to pick the pattern up. It is chocolate, so it's chocolate that you need to use to get the transfer off. But I am putting them on a buttercream cake, if that's what you mean, which I'm about to do now. I'll just come down to this level here. Right, okay. Let me find a palette knife that I like. And my cigarellos. So I did a panel cake a few weeks ago. Oh God, there I am. No, that's what I want. So I did a panel cake a few weeks ago. And this is what I'm doing again. So I'm going to do it with pink leopard print this time. Where's my buttercream? Oh, you've got it, Charlotte. I was thinking, what have I done with it? I gave it to Charlotte to stir. Okay. So all we're going to do, apart from finding a gap, that would be good. Go. I'm going to start here, start on the top. We're just going to put some on the top first and foremost. Hopefully you can see. Yeah. Like that. Okay, it does dry very quickly, chocolate buttercream. So when I put my panels on, I do them in stages. I don't just do them all in one go. I don't buttercream it all in one go, because otherwise you find by the time you've got round sticking the last one down, the buttercream's already dry. So we don't want to be doing that. I'm just cleaning up my board before I start putting the transfers on. So here we go. I'm going to just go around this side here. So a little bit at a time. Remember what I just said? So don't do a whole load. You need to do a section at a time because it dries really quickly. So let's start with one there, like so. Now I'm going to put, I've got some dark chocolate cigarellos here that I'm going to put between, because that's what I like them to look like. So that was a short one. Hold on, let's find one I like. That one there. I've made a mess on the board. Let's clean that up. Okay, you can already see what's happening.
Someone said if you're going to do a wrap round,
yeah,
with the transfer sheets, is it that you wrap it round, put it in the fridge, pull it off and unwrap it?
Yeah.
That's the process.
Yeah.
There you go.
But I'm going to do that nearer Christmas. I've done it a few times on here, but I am going to do it again nearer Christmas. When I start getting towards Christmas, I'm going to start ranking up my... I'm going to do lots of themes, I've decided. So we're going to have like Reindeer Week and Snowman Week, and we're going to do lots of things connected with that. And there will be lots of transfers and moulds and painting and all sorts of things coming up on Tuesdays. So come back and stay tuned on Tuesday nights until Christmas, because I'm going to be doing lots and lots of different ideas. You're going to have these amazing Christmas cakes this year. Lots of different ideas. Okay, so you can see it going on now. See how easy it is? I think this is a little bit easier on a bigger cake than it is trying to wrap a whole cake. You can wrap a whole cake, of course you can, no problem. I personally though just prefer to do it in panels. I just love the look of it. I just think it looks super smart. That's just how I like it to look anyway, but you can see what's happening, okay? Let's add some more buttercream as we go. So yes, Tuesday nights, pre-bake off. I'm going to be here every week at 6:30 right through till Christmas. We're going to be tackling lots of different themes as we go. So as I say, I've got Reindeer Week and Snowman Week and all sorts of things. So I'm going to do a little bit of everything.
Do you post to Spain, Mum?
Do I post to Spain? I think so. I don't know what my website's set up for. I'm not sure. But if it isn't, just drop me a message after this and I'll have a look for you. No problem. Let me just get out the other transfers. Out of the fridge. Right. Okay.
Need to shut the fridge.
I need to shut the fridge. Thank you, Charlotte. My useful assistant, aren't you? Right.
Carol says she's looking forward to having you every week.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Carol.
What size cake have you done, Mum? Is it 8-inch? Or...
I have done a 6-inch round cake, and that's the other thing with this as well. When you've added a layer of buttercream and then you've added your cigarellos and your chocolate, I find these cakes, they look quite big in the end. So you don't need to start off on the world's biggest cake. And in fact, you know, we're lots of people not doing very big cakes at the moment, doing lots of cakes for small party gatherings, you know, up to 6. So you don't need huge cakes. But if you don't need huge cakes, you can still make it just as effective by doing something like this, can't you? You can still make a special cake regardless. Right. I hope Carol's noticed I'm using her board. Right, nearly there. Now, as you get towards the back, if you find it doesn't quite fit, you can always adjust it. I'm always one for, there is always a back of a cake. It always is, so you can just fill that bit in there. I'm making a mess at the moment. Put a bit too much on them. See, I have to make these mistakes, you see, Charlotte, online, so they know I'm a human being.
Absolutely.
I'm not a robot. Okay, there we go. And then we'll put another transfer in there. Put another one in there. Let's get that out of the way. Like so. Now, you see, I've got enough of a gap there. Let's turn that around so you can see it there. That's it. So I'm just going to pop an extra cigarello in there. I'm not going to worry about trying to cut out an extra bit of transfer or anything. At the back, there just so happens to be 3 cigarellos. It really doesn't matter. It's all very straightforward like that. So there we go. We've got our pink transfer on so far. How are we doing for time?
We are still fine.
We're still on time. Perfect.
25 minutes.
Right, lovely. Okay, so let's now do some piping. I've got a very nice birthday. You can take that out of the packet for me, Charlotte. I'll let you.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm just reappear at the moment, so you know I'm still here. So we're going to get a piping bag now. What is this? It's a 1M nozzle. We're going to use a 1M nozzle. And we're going to pipe some swirly bits on top of the cake using our buttercream. What have I got in there? This piping bag is enormous, so I need to cut it down a little bit. Are you approving so far?
It's got a really good look to it, the cake.
You approve, do you, Charlotte?
I like the effect that the ruby chocolate has. I think it's got a real nice.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the other screen now so you can see this. Look, so I can spin this one. Look, how about that? Right, see, I've got lots left as well. So bear in mind that I cut up a whole transfer sheet. I think you can do 2 cakes if you do it this way with 1 transfer sheet. So you get a lot out of your sheet. You don't have to use the entire sheet in one go, okay? So you don't have to, you know, cut off the bit you want and put the rest of it away. And you just store them at room temperature and they last ages. They're just the same as food colouring, so you don't have to do anything flash with it. You know, literally just put it to one side and keep hold of them. They last, they've got a good couple of years shelf life on them, so they are really, really good. Okay, what have we got here? So on top of here, this is the bit I'd never practiced and didn't even think about, to be honest. I have got my little squares that I made earlier. I had a plan for these, but I don't know whether it's going to work, Charlotte. Where are we? There I am on the side. So all I'm going to do now is literally, because I want to cover the edges there where it's got a bit haywire.
Somebody says that she's used the panels for a cake on Friday and she used your technique and it worked really well.
Brilliant.
That's what we like to hear.
Brilliant. And there are so many transfer sheets. If people are thinking, what else is there? Go and have a look at my website because there are so many. And as I say, Halloween's in at the moment, but Christmas is all there now. All the Christmas sheets are in. So if you are thinking, I'd love to do this at Christmas, go and have a look because they will sell out. They do sell out every single year. They are very difficult to get hold of. So if you've seen something you really like, get it and store it because honestly they will disappear. Okay, so that then covers up the top a bit, makes the cake look a little bit more organised, I think. There we go. And then she says leaning across here. Now I've got some dark chocolate curls here. You can buy them in much smaller containers than what I happen to have. You can get them in PME do them, which means Carol will have them, hopefully. Dark chocolate curls. Don't have to use dark chocolate curls. You could actually pipe the whole lot. You don't need to do what I'm about to do if you don't want to, but I quite fancy doing that tonight. So I'm just going to put some curls in the middle, like so. Okay, now, actually I'll just put another one in there because look, I can see a hole, Charlotte, and that's irritating me. I drive everyone mad at home. Okay, right, where's my little squares? So you can either cut these out before or you can actually snap them if you particularly want to. Where's my knife? I've buried everything. I'm turning into chaos now. So you can, if you want to, cut them. That wasn't too bad actually. And then you can just stand them up. Like so. Now they're only leopard print one side. You can do them two-sided, but what you'll need to do is you'll need to put two sheets down. So when you put your transfer sheet down, you'll then immediately need to put another sheet on top. Let's turn it that way. Let's get them this way now because that's going to annoy me otherwise.
Someone has said if you like made, let's just say, a chocolate transfer sheet lolly today.
Yep.
How long does that keep for?
Right, if you put it in a bag, it will be absolutely fine for a long period of time. What chocolate doesn't like is it doesn't like heat, it doesn't like light, and it doesn't like smell. So if you can protect it from all of those, then you're onto a winner. It's the same, it would work the same as any other chocolate that you would buy. So if you go into, I don't know, Tesco's or wherever, and bought some chocolate, it will have a shelf life on it. Now, the longer shelf lives tend to belong to the dark chocolate. Whereas the white chocolate tends to be the shorter shelf life, and that's true as well when you buy chocolate and it comes through and perhaps there isn't the shelf life on it that you want. It will be because the white chocolate doesn't have a very long shelf life anyway. All right, so don't sort of think someone's sort of, oh, that one's going out of date. It's just the way it is. So normally white chocolate's about 5 months. Milk chocolate's about 6, and dark chocolate can be anything from 9 months plus, depending on how kind of strong it is. Where have I got to? I'm nearly there.
Someone else in the comments has attempted the cake as well with the bumblebee transfer, and I think that's, you know, and you said nifty nozzles as well. It shows it's, you know, it's a straightforward but really effective design.
It is. I've got the other one here actually still. I'm going to show you that one in a minute. So anyone who missed that demo, I have got it here so you can have a look at it. So look at that. There we go. Now I've got a nice little birthday sign to put in as well. Where did I do with it? I gave it to you to
Yeah, I think you put it over on that side.
What did I do with it?
So it's just next to
the mixer.
Oh,
yeah. Did you take the top a bit off it?
What do you mean?
Has it got a coat on it? You know, a plastic cover.
I didn't look at that.
Yeah, it has sometimes. Yeah. These toppers, they come with these funny plastic things on them. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And then we're going to pop that in on top. Make sure it goes, actually move those out the way. How about that? I'm going to put a picture of this on my Instagram at the end, so if you can't quite see it because of all the mess in the background, then you will be able to see it a little bit better. There we go, look at that. I'm going to hold this up in a minute as well, so yeah, let me just get rid of some of my mess and then you might be able to see it a bit better. There we go. Let's move that bowl out of the way. I get into a mess when I'm live, you see. This is the thing. There we go, that's a bit better, isn't it? There we go. How about that? I'll pick it up even so you can, actually I'll keep it on the turntable, but I'll bring it in a bit so you can see it. There we go. All right. What do you think? Do I get approval?
Oh, I think you very much got
Am I getting
approval.
approval? Yay! So there you go. I'll just spin it round so you can have a little look at it. It's very straightforward, very effective, really easy to do. I'm going to put my website up again so you can see it. So transfer sheets, which is what I've used tonight. That's where you'll find them. They're on my website, okay? So that's how you do that. Isn't that easy? It's so effective and so straightforward, and it's just going to look amazing. So if you've missed it, somebody's just said they've just come on. If you have missed the live, you can go back and watch it. You will be able to, Carol posts these on the website, so you will be able to go back and have a look at it. And I'm going to reappear now. Here I am. Take that down for a second. Right, I'll just pick it up so we can see it. There we go. How about that? Isn't that straightforward? All right. It didn't take very long, did it? We started at, what time did we start?
25 to 7.
25 to 7, 25 to 8. How long has it taken me?
About an hour and 5.
About an hour and 5 minutes. There you go, you see? Easy. So if you need to get to do a birthday cake really quickly, unicorn buttercream I used this time, and then ruby chocolate, which we melted and we popped into the buttercream, and then we swirled it on top with a 1M nozzle. Always lovely. Nice little topper on top there, nice and straightforward. And cigarellos, also they're on my website as well, by the way. If anybody wants those, have a look for them. Limited supply again, because I don't keep a lot of stock because they're quite difficult to get hold of. And then if I hold that up close to the camera, you can have a really good look at the pink transfer there. It looks cool, doesn't it? There you go. So also think about with ruby chocolate as well. So it's pink. There are other sheets that you can put it with. Think about it. There's a zebra print one as well. There's various other Christmas ones as well. So if you think about it, what would look good with pink under the transfer sheets, think about it by looking online, looking at the colours, and then making some decisions from there. The cigarellos are on my website, Barbara. You'll find them. If you just scroll through, you'll find them on there somewhere. They're there somewhere. Yeah. Transfer sheets, a really, really effective and quick way to do a cake, which also, very quickly, because we mustn't clash with the Great British Bake Off. This is the one I did a few weeks ago, and if anyone says, oh no, you didn't eat it, no I didn't, because I keep it for things like this, you see, because I can then refer back to it. So this is one we did. Now, this is actually a few months old now, I think. So again, a different sheet, white chocolate, white cigarellos, nifty nozzles, all those beautiful Russian nozzles. I'm going to show you actually under the other camera, if I can turn it under there quickly. These are all the nifty nozzles that Carol's got. They're the mini ones actually that I used to do the top of this. And all I did was literally pick the colours up from here and match the top. So there's so many things you can do. You just need to think about what it is that you're trying to achieve and see if you can match the top as well. So with this one tonight, I just wanted it to kind of look a bit sort of, I suppose a bit gâteau-y, isn't it? Something like that, would you say?
Oh yeah, it's a proper like...
A proper girly gâteau luxury. And you could do a chocolate drip on here as well if you wanted to. Somebody mentioned earlier about doing a ruby drip. Yes, you could. You could drip it down the sides of these leopard print things as well, and that would look really nice as well. So hopefully, I've made it through this. You've got, how many minutes have we got? 10 minutes or so before the bake-off starts. So I have achieved my goal of completing my cake in time. So I will be back again next Tuesday with another crazy moment doing all these cakes. If you would like further information about the transfer sheets or online cake painting classes, which is what my cake painting school is, do please go to my website and you will find all the information on there, or drop me a message. I'm more than happy to answer any questions to do with cake painting or transfer sheets or cigarellos or anything really. If you've got a question, do ask me. I'm more than happy to help you. And I will be back again at 6:30 next Tuesday. I'm now going to let you all go so you can get yourself ready to watch the Great British Bake Off. I hope you all have a fantastic evening, and I will see you all again next week. Bye for now.